She broke through security. She ran past screaming guards, and before anyone could stop her, she jumped straight into Ozzy Osbourne's arms on stage. What Ozzy did next left the entire crowd screaming. If you love real, emotional rock stories, subscribe now to Voices of Darkness. Like this video and share it with your friends. We are on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers. Prove your love for Ozzy Osbourne. Now, let me tell you the story you will never forget. She jumped into Ozzy Osbourne's arms on stage. His reaction left the entire crowd screaming. The stadium was already shaking before Ozzy Osbourne even opened his mouth. 70,000 people packed shoulder to shoulder, lighters raised, phones glowing like stars trapped in human hands. The air smelled like sweat, smoke, and electricity, the kind that only exists when a legend is about to step into the light. Backstage, Ozzy stood still, black coat hanging loose on his thin frame, iconic round glasses catching reflections of the stage lights. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from memory. Every stage reminded him of every other stage. Every crowd reminded him of every life he'd lived. The announcer's voice boomed. "Ladies and gentlemen, the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne." The roar that followed was not human. Ozzy stepped forward. The spotlight swallowed him whole. And in the middle of that deafening love, one small figure changed everything. The girl in the front row. She was easy to miss. No VIP badge, no backstage pass, no security escort. Just a girl, maybe 16, maybe 17, pressed against the barricade in the front row. Her hands were shaking, not from excitement, from terror, from hope, from something she had been carrying alone for far too long. Her name was Lily, and Ozzy Osbourne had saved her life without ever knowing it. The letter never sent 3 years earlier. Lily had been someone else, smiling, laughing, dreaming. Then her world collapsed. Her father, her hero, died suddenly. A heart attack. No warning, no goodbye. One moment he was there, the next moment the house was silent forever. Her mother disappeared into grief, and Lily disappeared into darkness. School became unbearable. Friends drifted away. Nights became endless. The only thing that kept her alive was an old MP3 player her father had given her. On it, one album on repeat. Ozzy Osbourne, Dreamer, Ordinary Man, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Every lyric felt like Ozzy was speaking directly to her. She wrote him letters she never sent. "You don't know me, but you saved me. Your voice stops the pain. When you sing, I remember how to breathe." Those letters stayed hidden under her mattress until tonight. The concert that was never supposed to happen. Lily wasn't supposed to be here. She had run away from home that afternoon after another argument with her mother. Words too sharp, grief too raw. She spent her last savings on a ticket she could barely afford. Front row, not because she wanted to scream, but because she needed to say thank you. She didn't plan to jump. She didn't plan to run. But when Ozzy stepped into the light, something inside her broke open. Ozzy starts to sing. The band kicked in. The first notes of Mama, I'm Coming Home. The crowd sang louder than the speakers. Ozzy's voice older, cracked, but honest, floated over them like a confession. Then he saw her, right at the barricade, not screaming, not recording, not smiling. She was crying, deep, silent sobs. Ozzy's voice faltered for half a second. He didn't stop singing, but his eyes stayed on her. Security noticed her too. They leaned in. Too late. She jumped in one desperate movement. Lily climbed the barricade. Hands grabbed for her. The crowd gasped. Security lunged, and Lily jumped. Straight onto the stage. Straight toward Ozzy Osbourne. The music cut. The stadium froze. She wrapped her arms around him like she was holding on to life itself. For a split second, no one knew what would happen next. Ozzy's reaction. Security rushed forward, but Ozzy raised one shaking hand. "Stop." His voice echoed through the silence. The guards froze. Ozzy looked down at her. She was sobbing into his chest. "I'm sorry," she cried. "I'm so sorry. I just needed." Ozzy didn't push her away. He didn't step back. He wrapped his arms around her, tightly, protectively. The crowd erupted. Screams, cheers, crying. Ozzy rested his chin on her head and whispered into the mic, "It's okay, love. I've got you." The moment that shattered the crowd, Lily looked up at him, terrified she was about to be thrown out. Instead, Ozzy wiped her tears with his thumb. "What's your name?" he asked softly. Lily." "Why are you crying, Lily?" She hesitated. 70,000 people waited. "My dad, he died," she said, voice breaking. "And your music, it's the only thing that kept me alive." The stadium went dead silent. Ozzy closed his eyes. For a long moment, the Prince of Darkness looked like a broken man. Then he hugged her again. Harder. I'm glad you're still here, he said. And your dad would be bloody proud of you. People collapsed into tears. Grown men cried openly. Women screamed his name. This was no longer a concert. This was a confession. What Ozzy did next, Ozzy turned to the band. Play it again, he said. The band hesitated. Ozzy looked back at Lily. This one's for you. He kept one arm around her as the music started again, and he sang, not to the crowd. To her, every word felt heavier. Every note felt personal. Lily stood beside him, shaking, crying, alive. The crowd sang along, not loud this time. Soft, respectful, like a prayer. After the song, when the final note faded, Ozzy kissed Lily's forehead. Security approached again, gentler. Ozzy nodded. It's all right, he said. She's with me. He walked her backstage himself. The crowd gave the longest standing ovation of the night. Not for the music, for the moment. Backstage, Lily sat on a chair, still shaking. Ozzy handed her water. You ever think about giving up? He asked quietly. She nodded. I did. Ozzy leaned in. So did I. He tapped his chest. Still here though, aren't we? She smiled through tears. Before she left, Ozzy handed her something. A guitar pick signed. For when it gets dark, he said. Remember, you're not alone. The aftermath, the video went viral. Millions of views. Headlines everywhere. Ozzy Osbourne stops concert for crying fan. The hug that broke the internet. Prince of Darkness shows pure light. But Lily didn't care about fame. She went home. She talked to her mother. She lived. Ozzy's final words that night before leaving the stage. Ozzy spoke one last time. Look after each other, he said. You never know who's barely holding on. The crowd screamed louder than ever. If this story touched your heart, if Ozzy Osbourne's music ever saved you, if you believe legends are human too, subscribe to Voices of Darkness right now. Like this video. Share it with your friends. We are chasing 1,000 subscribers. If you truly love Ozzy Osbourne, prove it. Comment your name below. You never know. The next story might be about you.
If you love me, subscribe to Voices of Darkness. Like this video and share it.